Well, welcome to the Link to the Past Randomizer 2021 tournament. This is a winner's bracket race between Alaszun and Scarlet, game one of their series. My name is Artie Walsh. I'll be one of your commentators today, and I am joined by Homemade Beer. Homemade Beer, how you doing?
Hey, Artie Walsh, good. Doing good. How are you?
I am doing all right, ready to settle in for this race. These are two really solid runners, and yeah, going to be really interested to see how they route this thing, though of course we're doing Escape right now. We're launching right into it started word. All right, sorry, I said sentences and then I just immediately butchered them. I'm very sorry. Okay, so anyway, Escape, it's happening. We're going to Uncle. What do you think we're going to get from Uncle?
Let's see, bombs. Always good, then you don't have to worry about farming.
Yeah, I like a bomb start as well. I know Scarlet, I was looking at the pre-race chat earlier, she's a little bit hesitant about bombs, but oh, we get Kane. That's awful. I hate this.
Kane. Always fun. Yeah, Kane's one of those weird ones. When it shows up early, it can unlock, some of the late dungeons that you're meant to do later and force you to go there early.
Yeah, and just for Escape, the Kane's not a weapon. It's a damage source, but it's a block, and people just run into it. As we get an early map check, look like crystals on Hera and Eastern, and a red pennant on Desert.
Okay, yeah, good information. Yeah, I haven't been paying as close attention. Are we on a bomb pack with the guards? It looks like they're really trying to take out all these guards and check this.
I haven't seen any drops from the guards yet, so I think that's more like just information scouting on Alaszun, like hoping to find out what this pack is.
Yeah, I've definitely seen a heart from at least one guard, so I think it's still there's still a chance, but I don't think it's certain yet. But yeah, just a quick recap in the group here. This is Group O with Scarlet, Moogle-Charm, Alaszun, and Slumberjack. And in the first week of the tournament, Scarlet beat Slumberjack 2-1 in a very, very close series, whereas Alaszun beat Moogle-Charm 2-0. So this is the winner side of the bracket here, and the first game of their series.
Yeah, and then I can't remember seedings off the top of my head, but I believe Scarlet was the number 1 seed and Alaszun was the number 2.
Alaszun was actually the 3 seed. Moogle-Charm was the 2 seed there. So.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, I know Scarlet won one of the qualifiers with a pretty crazy time for that seed. So.
Oh yeah. Including a Ganon death on that, if I recall. And I think finished in a 106 on that qualifier, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, I will say that I wasn't as familiar with Scarlet before the tourney. I know I've been seeing Alaszun a lot for a long time in these races. He's a real crosskeys maven, the once and future king of Ambrosia. So yeah, I'm pretty excited for this race, though. We're gonna have to finish Escape here. We've got so many long hallways to travel through before we even get to another treasure chest.
Yeah, definitely both very, very good runners. I'm really excited for this race to see. I'm curious to see if there's going to be any major divergence in early game routing, and see if making some early game gambles and see any of the choices pay off here.
Yeah, interesting route on Alaszun's side, taking the early stairs. I don't know if it makes a huge difference, but hey, there was a difference, so I appreciated seeing that.
Divergence. Yeah, so they're not farming enemies anymore. I take it they've cleaned out the drop pack and found it's not a bomb pack. And hey, look, a book.
I never quite know how to feel about seeing an early book. Especially seeing the desert's dependent like that. You're kind of hoping that's going to be bait, but you're also probably going to take it at some point.
Yeah, that's something that you end up probably wanting to do last, but looks like they farmed enough of these rats to learn that they are the arrow drop pack, which does not have bombs, so they will be skipping the back of escape for now, most likely coming back when they have a glove.
Okay, Bottle and Sanctuary is nice. That's going to clean up the Kakariko rat a little bit.
Yeah, and so far both runners just going straight to Kakariko.
Yeah, no bombs for South Shore. You theoretically could take the 300 rupees that you got early on in Escape and, you know, buy bombs from Lake Hylia, scout out the island item, and then go to early Saha, but I don't... Yeah, I would have been surprised to see that play in a 1v1.
Yeah, it's a good point. They do have a book. Someone pointing out that they can check the ped. But enemies being really stingy in this early game. No bombs to be found anywhere. Just lots and lots of arrows.
Oh boy, Alaszun's doing that thing you just said.
All right. Well, we'll know soon.
Oh, and saving quitting away from the pedestal. Okay, so pedestal was nothing. You know, big surprise there. And yeah, curious to see where Alaszun goes from here. Oh, going to be routing down. Okay, I see the logic. Farming bombs from the south of Grove here. Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah, it's definitely one way to guarantee bombs and then head up through the village from south to north. And getting one of the two bushes with a 50-50 drop on bombs. So able to get a single bomb here entering from the south. But pretty dead CAC so far.
Yeah, none of the single item caves here seem to be paying off too big, though. We're expecting bigger payouts over in the Well and Blindside. You know, 5 items in each. We're probably stands to reason that there's going to be hype in there.
Yeah. It's interesting with this routing with the lack of bombs. Oh, there we go. Some flippers on the bottle vendor, the flipper vendor. But it looks like Alaszun's only about one check behind from where Scarlet is with those early bombs. But running out again, so I guess that early bomb.
And, you know, micromanaging your resources. You want to use that 1 bomb on the Kugos so you can get the 10 bombs and, you know, have 8 bombs from any Moldarm Cave. Makes sense.
Yeah. That's actually, yeah, that worked out really well. But yeah, so not so much so far, just a little bit of cash and some flippers. Ooh, that's kind of awkward. There's a shovel in Blind's hut, so with Scarlet's routing, it'll be easier to walk down to check that. We'll see if Alaszun decides to go and, after saving and quitting, heading back over there from Link's house to get that out of the way early, or save it for a later time, maybe once they get into the Dark World and have the mirror.
All right, there's a save and quit from Alaszun. Makes complete sense. You're probably not going to see him check the shovel for a little while here. Or he's going to go right to it and make a liar out of me. All right, I see you, Alaszun.
Classic, make a liar out of the comms. And it looks like, was that a blind check on Race Game for $20? Yeah, so Scarlet's leaving and heading to the shovel as well, and might get there right about the same time again.
Yeah, this is a really amazing point of convergence, like Alaszun just being slightly ahead of Scarlet with the pet intel in hand. So yeah, really interesting.
Oh, okay. Someone buried a rusty hookshot in there.
Seems somewhat required.
Yeah, very, very good thing that he just went straight back to check that. Seen a little bit of that hookshotting the bushes there from Scarlet. I think with that early mobility item like that, we'll probably see these runners using it a lot, especially until they find the boots.
Yeah, one of the benefits to quick swap being added to pretty much all races is that like the hook shot speed strats are kind of viable now. Or Alaszun having a little bit of time getting onto that chest, but hey, we're on.
That's very nice. Another bottle, and oh, there's the bombs. We found them. So, from what it looks like is happening here, Alaszun's going to do Mini Moldorm Cave, check the dam, and I'm going to guess he's going to go head over towards Agina and check the Desert Ledge and see if there's anything that the book is locking early. Where Scarlet did the more traditional dam first into Mini Moldorm, would guess she's going to go chase the flippers here. Of course, you don't really want to head up that way without having Zora money, and they're still a bit off, only having about a little over 400 rupees here, so.
It definitely makes sense. Alaszun thinking that early book is going to be auguring desert progression and just into that area, but Scarlet being just a little bit more conventional with the routing, I'd say.
Yeah, there might be some kind of, metagame routing in his mind too. Like, hey, my opponent might not do this. Like, I'll see if I can go this way. If there's something here, then I can gain an advantage. But, this isn't a completely crazy play to go head over there with the book and check it out, at least. But, of course, there's always, the chance that, the desert boss is locked, and there's a chance it's completely boot locked and you don't get any items in desert. So we'll see. Ooh. Nice pull from the hobo there. Scarlet with her Moon Pearl.
Yeah, I was just about to mention we're missing anything for Dark World access right now, so it seems kind of likely that Desert's going to have regression. But yeah, Moon Pearl, that's going to get us one step of the way there. We have a couple other steps remaining, but hey, got one.
Yeah, not finding anything so far on Alaszun's route to the left here, but let's see if Desert Palace has anything to pay off. Ooh, getting hit by a crab. Be a little careful. These crabs doing 2 damage per hit with green mail, which these runners will have for the entire seed, as this is hard mode.
I just want to shout out that strat Alaszun just used to get rid of that worm guy in desert. That was kind of nifty.
Oh, that was kind of cool. Yeah, I've never seen that. Just lay a block on top of him and let him eat the block. So far, desert being pretty open, getting both keys. And a compass. So he's relying on the big chest having progression here at this point. There's one item in desert on the torch. Just a piece of heart. And, ooh, Scarlet finding her lamp. So, flippers seem to be the call in this scene so far. And, oh, of course, Vanilla Glove. Love to see it.
Yeah, so that item layout in desert's really good for Alaszun because he won't have to worry about Landmo. I don't expect we're going to see Scarlet, if she chooses to go to desert, go for a king kill on Landmo, but yeah, knowing that Pet's dead, he knows that desert, he will never have to go back there, which is going to be good for him.
That's a very good point, actually, because Scarlet will have access with this lamp to actually go fight Landmo. I guess she'll see 2 items, so the only question, like you said, is if Pet is necessary, which she doesn't know.
Yeah, and speaking neutrally, I don't think I would be going for a red king kill on land mode just to gamble on Pet later.
Yeah, absolutely not. Oh yeah, Alaszun going back into the back of Escape with that glove was able to find Ether in the back, and I think there were bombs in there too, so that's where they were hiding in the Escape. And another thing is that with that glove, Alaszun will be able to farm rupees if he needs to, and be able to actually check Zora that Scarlet did not have enough money for when she was up there, and that is a out of the way check at this point for Scarlet. This actually is kind of reminiscent of the last series. I think I think it was a medallion was on Zora, and the first time she went up to the area didn't have enough money to get it, so it ended up becoming kind of one of those ticking clock kind of races where all she needed to do was get up there at some point to get her go mode, and she did very late, but you know, just in time. I think she ended up winning the seed by a very close race.
Yeah, it makes sense. You never feel good orphaning any check in this game, especially something like Zora where, you know, technically always in logic, usually in logic pretty early. Now we see Alaszun sequence breaking the mountain. We know it's in logic, but he doesn't quite yet. But yeah, there's a pretty good chunk of items up here for him.
Yeah, this seems like the seed is pointing you up here next. The only thing that you could find and be kind of sad to have missed is if there's like a hammer in Saha's closet or something. Because that would put Hera, Tower of Hera in logic as well. Or not in logic, but accessible. A little bit of both.
Yeah, I get it.
Well then, looks like Alaszun pulling the fire rod out of Paradox. That is a fire-locked fire as far as we can tell. Question from chat. The gloves were in their vanilla location, which Scarlet will be showing us here in a moment. And Alaszun finding a hammer on the, I don't know if that's the top or the bottom, but the other side of Paradox Cave will be able to go up to Hera now. And also check the Ether Tablet, but without a Master Sword, not able to actually collect the item unless he finds a couple swords along the way. But it's actually kind of lucky in a way. He did sequence break up here without a lamp. And if he goes into Hera and that's where the game wants you to go next, and he finds progression in there, then he would not have been able to do that if the big key was locked in the basement. Potentially because of if there's like something in the big chest or something in the basement, because of he would not have had a fire source. But luckily he pulled a fire rod from Paradox Cave and was able to do that.
Yeah, indeed. If it does come down to a big key in Hera basement, I'd expect to see him Hera pot first. But yeah, it's definitely good that you get Fire Rod when you're on the mountain. You really don't want to isolate anything in Hera, because getting back up here without the mirror, or even with the mirror, is just a huge slog.
Yeah, definitely. And let's find out. Let's see what we... Okay, so we do have the big key here. So yeah, Scarlet just following now in Alaszun's footsteps. The main difference is having the Moon Pearl here. Getting that 1 pixel setup on this Hera pot setup is always just... That can be incredibly frustrating. But let's see, he misses it the first try. Let's see if he gets it the second try. Getting 1 pixel at a time. Oh, gets the 2 pixel and needs 1 more here. Oh, gets 3 that time. Yeah, this is such a precise trick, because if you don't get it exactly 1 pixel, it can get screwed up on the sub-pixels and cause the bomb to explode you in the wrong direction, making you fail the trick. There it is.
Yeah, it gets it third try, and yeah, I'd agree. Getting the bomb setup always feels like a little wacky to me. I'm much more comfortable with the boot setup, but yeah, you definitely want to learn both of you play as much cross keys as Alaszun does, but gets it, and hey, we get both items out of here, so nice.
Value dungeon, 21 rupees, not just 20, but 21.
I want to call that blackjack, but I'm not. That no, yeah, that's the blackjack number. I know card games, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. So, gonna take down Moldorm with a hammer here, which is pretty reasonable fight. 3 whacks to the back of the tail. Collect your crystal and be on your merry way. So yeah, so now Alaszun is just waiting for to find his Moon Pearl on the Flippers checks, but now also has enough money to do Zora when he's in the area, so... Ooh, a little bit unlucky with those Moldorm patterns. Scarlet laid a second bomb to try and take them out, as well as hit the switch, and looks like missed both there, so that's unfortunate. Getting a little trolled by the mini-worms. Ooh, Alaszun getting trolled by the mini-worms.
Yeah, many Moldorms out for blood today. They know that the big Moldorms is, weak to hammer, and they're just doing all they can to help him out. Scarlet with the beeps, yo.
Yeah, that's the double beep, I think.
It sure is. Yeah, this is... it really goes well with the music. Chat loves it. This is just extremely good content.
Yeah, I think from here, if she's going to want a hair pot, she'll probably check the item, grab the key, and then she might take a death here to reset her health and then be able to do the hair pot. We'll see. So I like this route that Alaszun's taking here. He can check Ice Rod Cave through this whirlpool since he has the flippers. Ooh, oh, Scarlet has a fairy. Well, that's fine. Same difference.
Yeah, you'd rather not use the fairy here, but at least you get the health refill that you're looking for. So
yeah, yeah. But so yeah, Alaszun took that route through the whirlpool outside of the sanctuary and able to check Ice Rod Cave as well as continue on and do the flipper checks, which will be good for him. It's a very thorough route. Make sure that you clear out basically all of Sphere 1 and know that you're not missing anything. I should learn that Harapot. Looks easier than the other one.
yeah, there's so many Harapot setups that because I've been trying to use the Drakara setup and the one that Alaszun was using, and yeah, that maybe there's an easier one out there for us.
yeah, that stupid subpixel pattern is frustrating.
Or we could just keep saying prayers for boots.
Yeah, exactly.
Can't hookshot a rock, Alaszun. Alright, so Alaszun's gonna get his Moon Pearl, so I wonder if he goes to Zora area with Dark World Access, or if he maybe tries to hold off until he has Mirror to combo it with Catfish.
Yeah, well, we don't know what's on Zora, but there was Quake, I believe, in Waterfall Cave, so I don't think Quake will come into play that early, but you never know with the Red Cane being the starting weapon. Again, that could end up being one of those things that forces one of those either Meyer or TR, sometimes Ice Palace, into logic earlier to look for progression.
Yeah, that is true, and we're a mitts away from having just full logical access to Ice Palace.
That is true, isn't it? Yeah. So, yeah, Scarlet having already done the Zora area and Alaszun going up the mountain early, their routes are about to converge, where the only difference will be basically Alaszun has checked, will have checked Zora and will have checked Ped, but otherwise they're getting about to the mid game where it's time to go into the Dark World and see what the next progression is going to be. And just bombs on the fish. So for $500, you can get 3 bombs. So not the best deal, but it's not a single rupee back.
Yeah, at least Alaszun gets peace of mind out of the deal. So yeah, he knows that he doesn't have to come back for anything on Zora. He knows that he's not leaving anything on Zora. He's just got the bombs and he's leaving.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, hopefully, it's one of those. Well, let's see. We got a map check. Swamp Thieves are the red crystals, and Ice Skull Woods are the pendants. I believe Ice was the green pendant.
Yeah, look like that to me, though. I guess maybe we'll see something shortly from Alaszun to confirm.
Hey, gotta go fast. I always hate finding boots before a sword, but how hype was that cave?
I was about to mention how much I hate swordless boots movement, but yeah, that was solid 8 out of 10 at least, 9 out of 10 maybe.
Well, there's your Ice Palace.
Yeah, let's go. We're fine. Just who cares that it's a pendant? Just go.
Obviously, the next check that you're gonna make.
Yeah, it's like they say in Zooter. Just go to Ice Forehead.
Exactly. Another NPC with bombs off of Stumpy. Yeah, it looks like Alaszun's going north route here. Seems like probably check Catfish and then head over to Village. We'll see what he decides to do here. He's been very thorough so far this seed. He hasn't really left anything. So.
Yeah, I'd agree. And the catfish play makes sense here. The game has done you the favor of, isolating catfish for you by putting, not required progression, but progression all the same with the Lamp and the Zora area. So yeah, just get this out of the way. You have boots, so it's pretty fast. It's peace of mind. But Scarlet going for crystals makes perfect sense. Yeah, just kind of adhering closer to convention than Alaszun.
Yeah, this Catfish is never getting any better than this exact moment. I mean, it's usually always a bad, out of the way check. And if you're gonna do it, if you think there's something there, you want to do it. It's one of those things that's kind of better to get out of the way early, in case there is something there. You don't want to leave it for last location or anything.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Oh, hey, a mushroom. That's a interesting find. We've already had one fetch quest payout. Oh, hey.
Hey, the powder. Very nice. Actually, I'm thinking about this. I kind of like the way... Oh, hi, a flute. This is a very open dark world, isn't it?
There's the whole ton available now. We can go to Mire if we want. We can probably go to Mire if we want. We can do some stuff in T-Rock. Yeah, we're getting like a lot of progression. We just need a mirror and ice rock. Yeah, why not? That's just give us all the items.
But yeah, I was just thinking about the way Alaszun routed this. Actually, he got Catfish out of the way, cleared up that whole area, so there's no reason to ever go back there. And then by saving and quitting, was able to get the boots checks out of the way on the way to going to CAC and ending up in Village of Outcast, taking the North Portal. And with the Fire Rod, well, if he wanted to go into Skullwood's Pendant, but just one way to be very thorough about, and efficient about cleaning up like every check and really isolating where your go mode could be later in the seed, like knowing where you've already checked, basically.
Yeah, definitely. There are advantages to being thorough. You might leave yourself open to, like, if you get some weird jet seed and your opponent manages to hit the god route, you leave yourself open to something weird happening there. But yeah, no, for a 1v1, this is really solid routing. Like, Alaszun's done a really solid job of just efficiently pathing through the seed, just like opening up new checks before he goes to any area.
Yeah, and all of a sudden at this point, we are, an ice rod, a bow, and a mirror from go mode, and potentially Bombos. So the seed just decided, okay, you're in the dark world now, just get every item. Like, we're just going to give them to you, then you can figure out, what to do next. And I shouldn't forget to mention a sword, but, we don't talk about those things here.
There's one in Ganon's Tower. It's okay.
Yeah. Never happens where you're looking for a sword. It's always in Ganon's Tower.
Yeah, it certainly wasn't a seed earlier today where swords were on purple chest and Spike Cave.
Oh, those aren't places you want to find a sword.
No, not really. No.
But yeah, Alaszun is deciding to dip Skullwoods here. Again, we know that he knows. We know. Well, all of us know that Pet is dead right now, but Scarlet does not know that. So, if he finds the items in the front, he knows he can just skip the boss and leave the dungeon alone forever after that. That bomb looked a little far away.
Yeah, just a bit, just a bit. Okay, so that's one item out of skull, looks like.
He didn't get any small keys from those two checks, huh? Just the big key and then like a compass or something?
Yeah, it was the compass, big key, and then that heart piece.
Yeah, and so far, Thieves Town only having the blue cane, it seems like. I don't remember seeing anything else as Scarlet traversed through that dungeon. And Scarlet getting one of her 5-6 crystals out of the way, so... Only a mirror away from being able to access the other one as well. And I think all 3 small keys were in the front, so I guess there's an item in the fire-locked backside of Skullwoods here.
Yeah, kind of annoying for Alaszun's route, but yeah, one of those things. So Scarlet gonna be making the same play, but I'd expect her to be routing like front to back here, so we'll see how far she takes this.
Yeah, not much else up here she can check without the mirror except for Bumper Cave, so... We'll see if she just does the front or decides to make sure she gets both items out of here.
Yeah, though that big key, that vanilla big key and that heart piece in the big chest, that might make her route here a little bit awkward.
Yeah. Yeah, luckily she'll find all of the small keys here, but you know, there is a chance. There is a non-zero chance to get fully locked in here and have to single click by just jumping straight into the hole. Yeah, and just seeing these runners kind of retrace each other's footsteps here. The main difference being Alaszun getting the powder off of King's Tomb, and then turning that in for the blue boomerang on Magic Bat. That big key's so annoying when you're routing front to back. But it looks like she's committing to the moth fight here. Or at least to go look for... Well, she'll have to get both items, I suppose, because she doesn't know the big chest has an item.
Yeah, she's going to be hoping that Moth has preferably progression, but at least an item to make this trip worth it. And yeah, just going straight for the Moth, just hoping that this is mirror or something to make the trip a little bit easier. But yeah, this is... We'll see how this goes, but it could wind up being unfortunate.
Yeah, I mean, this is... This is incredibly isolated for Alaszun at this point. Like, he knows Pet is dead, he knows there's one item, but it's all the way back here, and he has no reason to ever come back to this area once he finishes up Village of Outcasts, because with the mitts, he'll be able to basically do the entire area, and just zero incentive to ever be in this part of the world again. Except maybe when, you know, if he finds the mirror and decides he wants to check Graveyard Ledge, if it comes down to that.
Yeah, I don't really see any way, because like there's just so much open right now. Like, we haven't seen we have Dark Death Mountain, we have the Mire area, you know, still kind of...
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, Pod is open, though you're probably not going there without bow unless you have to. Alright, pretty solid moth from Scarlet, and yeah, Compass.
So
Bad. Well, not what you
Something
want.
pendant bad? Pendant dungeon bad? Something?
Pendant bad.
Pendant bad.
At least it was a good moth fight, though. It was.
It was
may
a
have been
good
a
moth
mistake,
fight.
but she made it as fast as possible.
Yeah, making use of that tiny hammer hitbox and just crushing that moth. Ooh, okay. Well, that's unfortunate for Scarlet. There was absolutely nothing in Skullwoods, and full committing to that does waste a fair bit of time. So, meanwhile, Alaszun finishing up the blind fight and taking down blind for his second crystal, the also 5/6 crystal. So this got kind of interesting now with once they both finish up this early Dark World route, a lot of the game opened up. I'm really curious to see where these runners will take it from here.
Scarlet, I think this is chaining the Skullwoods big chest into Smiths. I'm not.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't know what else is in this area for her right now.
Yep, that makes sense. Just hedging against the Smiths having a mirror, or a mirror being behind the Smiths here. That definitely can happen, and a lot of runners might not want to do the Smith chain at all without a mirror. So, of course, eventually you'd be forced to. Kind of forgetting King's Tomb there. We know that it's the powder and the powder not leading to anything, but that would have been pretty convenient routing since she's about to turn the Smith in. And also bonk checks. Oh, going straight for the flute activation. Okay. But very, very minor mistake. That's not going to actually cost her much in the end. So just that safety.
So while Scarlet's activating the flute, I'm curious why Alaszun just did the arrow game twice. Maybe making sure he has pod money or just showing off that inverted knowledge, but it seemed weird.
Yeah, I'm actually not sure. I'm trying to think of why you would need as much money, but I don't know.
Maybe also potions because he knows that he got that mushroom. That would probably make sense, but yeah.
Yeah, it could be. Yeah, just grab a quick safety when you turn in the mushroom. And it looks like another $20 for on the Smiths. And selling mushrooms to the potion shop for some cash. Get a quick turn in there, so not really that useful, but not terrible either. Discount on your potion. So it's likely they have access to this dungeon with the 2 medallions, I would think, right?
Yeah, I would think so, and that actually makes Alaszun's arrow gameplay make a little bit more sense because this video fight is pretty not. I don't. It's hard. It's going to be a hard fight.
Yeah, especially without a bow. Looks like Scarlet opting not to jump in there, so I think we saw that it was Quake, so she did have access to full clear that dungeon.
it makes sense. You know, it's a... He could be looking at a really long time in Meyer, and... But yeah, it doesn't have too much to flute back to Aiden. Alaszun doing the thing.
All right, here we go.
Or this is upgrades.
Oh,
okay.
Here we go. That was the money farming that we saw earlier for bomb.
Okay, yeah, everything's crystallizing. Alaszun's plan is coming to fruition, and yeah, I respect it.
Yeah, so it looks like from this play, it looks like he's going to be hard committing to Meyer after this, if I were to guess. Yeah, whereas Scarlet deciding to chase the chase those mitts right back up the mountain, the Dark Death Mountain here in Super Bunny Cave, getting 20 bucks and a heart container. You know, it's funny, I was thinking, like, he bought the bomb upgrade, but why not the arrow? Oh, there's no bow, right. Yes. Scarlet filling up on hearts pretty quickly here. She will max out at a total of 14 hearts. Hey, look, our third medallion. So we're basically missing... Well, we're still missing the same items that we were. Did Scarlet check Turtle Rock entrance? I don't think so. Oh, I guess it doesn't matter. She has all the medallions.
Yeah, if I remember, I think she, yeah, I think she came up through Super Bunny Cave and then got Bombos, and yeah, the idea of checking the medallions kind of mood. You know, you're saving 2 screen transitions. Well done.
But how? I want to know what it is.
I know you do, and I know that our tracker, our Charles, does too. But you know, we're just gonna have to wait to click that button until we can actually clear it out, or until we want to clear it out, because now we definitely know we can clear it out. And you know, Ice Rodless TR, everyone's favorite.
Classic Ice Rodless TR. So interesting, Scarlet is going to follow Alaszun into Meyer here. I guess it makes sense. It's a crystal. You can clear it. Alaszun going for the Godmire hover route across the bridge and gets it first try.
Look at that gamer. How about that?
But yeah, I was thinking, like, wait, why aren't they going to ice? They have all the things, and then remembering that, oh, it is just a green pendant, and Meyer is required to complete the game, where ice might not be, so this makes sense. Oops, running out of magic there. That was a quick blue goo burn from Scarlet.
Yeah, that really was quick. So, did she have enough magic for torches, maybe?
Yeah, I mean, there is the full magic. You do save time by burning that, but yeah, I'm not sure. Oh, here we go with the bomb strats on Biddy from Alaszun. This is a great strat, actually. Each bomb explosion doing a Master Sword slash worth of damage. So with 15 bombs, you can actually kill a fair amount of the eyeballs, like, you know, half of them, maybe all of them if they all get hit, but... And the up hammer, everyone's favorite. Woo! These are getting close. But yeah, Alaszun making it look easy here. And these eyeballs hit hard. They do 4 hearts of damage, so 2 hits will kill him. With that potion in hand, I'm sure he's a little less worried, but Okay. Chat pointing out that he set up spin speed here, so there's a trick that was somewhat recently discovered that if you set up spin speed, the hammer hitbox is extended. Similarly, when you hold out the sword and swing your hammer, it gives you the same hitbox, I believe. And so swinging up with the hammer is a much better hitbox for smashing these eyeballs. Oh, and I think Alaszun has a fairy. Scarlet burned hers earlier, so I think he'll be okay here.
I am happy that you pointed out that he had a fairy because I was very concerned that he wasn't drinking his potion despite going down to 3 hearts.
Yeah, I was just remembering because Scarlet burned it in Hera earlier. So, but yep. Yeah, but like another thing, like you said, that as a seasoned cross-keys player, I'm sure that he's had to do fights like this more than once. It's common to do a lot of low percent boss fights in cross-keys sometimes. So, all right.
Yeah, I'd say that's worth it.
So, do you think he goes in to get the other item, or do you think he's happy with that mirror? He's ready to go move on.
It wouldn't surprise me if he went back in, given that how we've been seeing him play so far. But yeah, he's going back in. I can understand this play.
Yeah, I think we just saw a piece of heart on the cutscene chest, so that's a little bit unfortunate from a routing perspective. But yeah, as far as we can tell so far, this seed might have wanted you to do that fight that he had to do without any extra swords or a bow. So pretty heads up play, I think, if you're going to go in here knowing that the fight might be terrible like this, to go grab a few extra bombs, make it a little bit easier.
Yeah, definitely. Like, I questioned that at the time, but that arrow gameplay may have saved him, like, just on the whole, a little bit of time.
Yeah, definitely. I think Scarlet is arming Spooky here. Something must have happened and she did not get it, so... Yeah, Scarlet having quite a few fewer, a bit fewer bombs. Only 6 bombs. Where Alaszun started the fight with 15, so used about 11 before deciding to go hammer on those eyeballs a bit. So let's see how she does on this fight here. This is a scary fight, She's getting a lot of bombs, or a lot of the eyeballs with those bomb blasts. Like, every single eyeball is getting hit at least once, so did a very good job so far. Ooh. Get hit. Ooh, they're coming uncomfortably close. Yeah, so I think the way the damage table works on this boss is each 2 sword spins is equivalent to a single hammer hit. So most of the time, the movement of these eyeballs with the way she's spinning is giving about the same amount of damage as a hammer hit would. So meanwhile, Alaszun checking Checkerboard Cave for 10 arrows that he will not be picking up. Ooh, Scarlet is on one-hit KO mode. It looks like she's got this, though. Yeah, there we go. And being safe here is very smart, burning that potion just to make sure that, you know, an accidental movement from the big eyeball doesn't take her down. Yeah, and with that fighter sword too, this fight can get away from you a little bit with the eyeball. You cannot slash the eyeball for damage. So, but Scarlet doing a great job taking down Viddy for her mirror and evening out the crystal count at 3 apiece.
Yeah, really well done by both the runners to get through that fight, and yeah, definitely good to get it on the first try because I don't know if you would talk yourself out of like going back for that item and like going back for fighter sword Viddy, but yeah, you definitely want to get that mirror on the first go.
Oh yeah, definitely. And yeah, so now with the mirror, Swamp opens up, Alaszun heading right on in, and I believe that is the other 5/6 crystal here. So again, pretty solid routing here from Alaszun, the way he's done this. I mean, of course, you don't know you're going to get the mirror when you go to Mire, but you know, having pulled the mirror can now, you know, finish up Swamp Palace, head over. I didn't see if he checked Bombos. I don't think he did. I mean, he doesn't have a sword to get the item anyway, but then can do Pyramid Fairy after this as well. So let's see what he decides to do here after Swamp. And yeah, Scarlet immediately following. This makes perfect sense. It's the next big thing open. It's a crystal dungeon. You can full clear it. Yeah, just a quick reminder of how the race began. I think the book was in the back of Escape, and with that early book, Alaszun did check the ped and found that I think it was just 3 bombs. So he knows that ped is dead. Scarlet opted not to do that to save some time. I think that might have factored into both of their decisions on how much of Skullwoods to complete as well. That was a weird bomb toss. Oh, you know what happened? I think Scarlet did not have bombs when she entered because she used them on Viddy, and there are 2 bombs in that room, so...
Yeah, I think, yeah, that's kind of what her pathing was just, yeah, that she just didn't quite have the resources to get that. You never get to Swamp without bombs. Like, it's a very rare situation.
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah, there are a few in here. I believe there's like 4 total in the dungeon, something like that. Like in the room Alaszun's in now, I think there's 2 bombs in there. I forget exactly.
Yeah, there are bomb refills aplenty. You know, one day there'll be like a guide to all the bomb rooms in the video game.
Oh, I'm sure someone on the internet somewhere has made that.
Yeah, you know, there's demand for like Link to the Past learning resources. You want to learn where all the bomb pots are.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. Help newbie runners get into the game, you know. Like I still always have dark room maps open when I play. Just have them in the background, and in case the situation comes up, I pretty much always still pull them up and just have them there next to me in case, you know, you get hit by an enemy and it throws off where you think your sprite is, stuff like that. I think it's great that there's so many resources to play this game.
Yeah, definitely. Like, there's been a lot of inroads to like making this game a little bit more like more and more accessible. Like, especially like with this tournament, like being on Racetime GG instead of the SRL, the old IRC chats, and like ladder just being done through Discord. Like there's like a lot of inroads in this game being made just like, you know, easier to play for people.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Yeah, and so we've seen Alaszun doing Fighter Sword Argus. Looked like he was getting pretty solid double hits on the spins on the puffs, and yeah, we're gonna see if he goes back in with the mirror. I don't quite know what the mirror signals.
Yeah, I'm not sure either. I think he just go moded that dungeon. Did he even check the south chest? I don't even remember.
Skipping compass, if he actually did that, that would be pretty spicy. But you know, like with as much as he has open, that kind of makes sense. Yeah, we can see on Scarlet's tracker it didn't look like it had much, assuming that she checked it.
Okay. Yeah, it looks like he was counting better than I was paying attention. That there was, I think, one item left.
Yeah, one item. You're probably not going back in for that, I don't think.
Yeah. Okay, that makes a lot of sense then. So.
Oh, hey, the ice rod. Neat.
Well, all we need is a bow, and there's always a sword in GT, right? That'll be fun.
Yeah, I don't know where else they would be.
But it's interesting. They've both completely skipped Eastern and Pod area, like completely. We haven't even seen Saha's closet. There could just be a bow in Saha's closet this entire time.
That would be pretty fun. But yeah, it kind of makes sense why they haven't been to that area yet. Like, they just had so much of the world open up. Like, they had the flippers, they had, I guess, Pendant Deserts, you know what it is, but... Yeah, but like, since they got Dark World access, they've just kind of been on a straight line.
Yeah, I think they knocked out both items in Pendant Desert, right? Or was there an item left on Landmo?
They got both items, yeah.
Okay.
Alright, so exciting moment coming up for us as Alaszun's going to be checking Hookshot Cave, and then we're actually going to see the Turtle Rock Medallion. We know we can get into T-Rock, but, you know, you'd like to know how.
Keeping us in suspense. So he found the Ice Rod in K45, but did not go to Pyramid Ferry. Right? I think that's open now, right, with Swamp Palace and Thieves Town. But Scarlet never checked Pyramid Ledge, I believe. So she has a little more incentive to actually head over there after this.
Yeah, Pyramid Ferry is open, but I get Alaszun skipping out on that for Turtle Rock. Like, Turtle Rock has a long and storied history of being the play, and yeah, you know, it's an old rando adage, just rush dungeon.
Yeah, yep, for sure. There's an acronym for it, but looks like Scarlet following suit. Wow, this is so... The routing here is interesting. It's been very close so far, where, you know, based on certain decisions and you know, probably mainly just doing the back of Skull Woods, honestly. Scarlet has been just behind Alaszun this entire time, and she also did... This is her, what, third trip, I think, up here now, because she actually checked Dark Death Mountain earlier, so... But still maintaining a very, very, you know, close pace just behind Alaszun here. So it's kind of funny, you know, the heart pool is Sank Heart plus 6 full hearts plus 16 heart pieces. And so we know the runners have found Sank Heart at this point, that Scarlet is still seeing heart pieces on the map. Very likely to accidentally pull one of those last heart pieces out of a chest before everything turns into a green 20 at this point. So, what do you think, R.D. Walsh? Are we going to find our Go Mode bow in here? A sword? Nothing? Like, what are you expecting here?
Well, homemade beer. I'm kind of anticipating the bow being here just because, like, you kind of like to see the, standard plays get reward. But, like, for the content, I would like the bow to be somewhere else. But, yeah, we'll see. We've got a long way to go before we start getting to the highly concentrated parts of Turtle Rock.
Yeah, the front has to be mostly keys in order to get to the back of Turtle Rock. So you're right. We won't really see anything interesting for at least the first half of the dungeon, typically. And yeah, they don't have any other fetch quests left we haven't seen, so it's pretty much either going to be like a dead dungeon or the bow's going to be in here, right? That's the only thing we care about at this point.
The bow is the only thing we've ever cared about. Even with the progressive bow update, like it just seems like bow hunts are just all too common.
Yeah, progressive bows.
It's a fantastic addition to the video game. I love it.
Yeah, they're never on the same sphere or behind each other. That never happens. Yeah, it looks like Alaszun just kind of playing go mode here and, deciding Lava Chest isn't worth it at this point. I feel like a lot of times when you do see progression in Turtle Rock, it ends up on Laser Bridge anyway, so maybe that's what he's gambling on here. Oh, hi, Bo.
Well, that's not good for Alaszun.
Oops.
Huh. Well, Scarlet, like we've been saying, there are two bows in the video game, and there is a chance that they're not locking each other, that they're both just out there in the world. But oh man, that could be rough.
Oh, and a sword. Well, this will be Scarlet's go mode, so I'm sure. Well, I'm not sure. She might continue looking for a couple of chests here or there. On the way, like chests that are on the way, in order to find another sword, because tempered is always much nicer than master sword. But we'll see. Yeah, there was another race in this tournament, I believe, yesterday, where one of the runners miscounted items in the back of Escape, thought that Sanctuary had a map where it turned out to be a bow, and then immediately was bailed out by finding the second bow on Bottle Bender, which did not learn that was the case until after the race and talking in the interviews. And I thought that was really funny. And maybe Alaszun's hoping for that as well here, or maybe going back. Oh, I see what happened. So he must have been counting items and realized, found the map and compass. Okay, there was an item, an actual item. I need to go back and check it.
Yeah, definitely an interesting play. We'll have to ask him about this, but yeah, it's fortunate that he's going back here. But yeah, this route is going to lose a pretty solid chunk of time.
Yeah, remember how much further ahead Alaszun was entering this dungeon than Scarlet, and here we are. Well, is that true? Yeah, because even though he had to check Dark Death Mountain, he was still, I don't know, about 30 seconds or more ahead entering this dungeon. And now she is about to enter the Trinex fight, where he still has to make his way through the I don't know what you call it, the Dark Maze, and then back down here.
Yeah, this is a pretty slow room to get through. Yeah, he lost... Man, yeah, because he pulled Master Sword right after Scarlet found the bow, so that kind of gives you an idea of how ahead he was before this play. But important for Alaszun, he at least got the bow, so yeah, this is within... He's still within shouting distance of Scarlet, and something that could come down to GT routing or, you know, pod routing, assuming that he routes pod unconventionally. I don't know how many people do route pod unconventionally.
Yeah, and this is, you know, one of those things too where, you know, in a race like this, especially knowing your opponent and depending on how you feel about them, like nerves start to play a factor. Once you hit go mode, it's like, okay, I just got to finish the game, but I got to do it as fast as possible. And the longer it gets, the more you have to kind of remind yourself to keep your cool and not rush things and just make sure that you execute cleanly. So, but yeah, we have a very tight race on our hands now.
Yeah, Alaszun or Scarlet pulling Crystal 5 at like a what was that 1:10:53.
Yeah. So what would you say? About a minute behind here now?
Yeah, I mean it sounds about right depending on how this phase 2 goes.
Yeah, interesting. The only thing I think we saw different between the runners at this point was the King's Tomb Bonk Rocks play from Alaszun, and then of course checking Fed.
Oh hey, Scarlet never made it to Bonk Rocks, did she? That's alright. I respect it.
No, that wasn't on her route. She turned in the Smith and then went on her merry way.
We also never made it to Saha. We're just gonna glide right over that boy.
Yeah, it's okay. The back of the closet stays shut forever.
We have all the items. It's fine. There wasn't a sword in there or anything.
Yeah, there's no swords in there. There never is. It's fine. It's fine.
Yeah, you know, one sword, you know, wherever we found that for one sword in Hype Cave, another sword in Turtle Rock, and both are in GT.
Yeah, easy. And Alaszun picking up some potions here along the way. You know, just a little bit more safeties. Peace of mind, you know, definitely helps. You know, in a race like this.
Yeah, nothing wrong with wanting additional magic bars for gaining.
So let's see, do we have a nice pod today? Do we get the big key early and skip the entire back terrible area? Map and compass. Looks like the answer is no. Classic pod. Terrible no matter what, whether you're in go mode or searching for items.
Forced Bullock side feels bad, especially because
Feels bad.
Yeah, especially since that's kind of one thing I was imagining for Alaszun making comeback, like if he were able to rush the backup pod for the big key in case it happened to be there and not do the Bullock side, but no, not to be today. No divergence.
Yeah, too bad we have all the hearts and everything else that if we saw a green 20, we wouldn't know if it was potentially a bow or not. It's probably just heart container or something at this point. Ooh, are we going to see the clip? Awesome. Love that clip.
It's the pod clip for a reason.
Oh, that's nice, except now you need a small key. You can just mirror here, right? Or hope for a key in this room. Oof.
Yeah, I think you mirror. I think Scarlet might be checking these for a tempered sword, maybe, but yeah.
Oh, good point.
Yeah, I think mirroring there is kind of your more. It's kind of what you want to do, though.
Yeah, and both of these are small keys, so. Yeah, let's see what Alaszun does here. He's gonna do the bomb. Nope, missed it, and gets knocked off. Ooh, see, this is what I was saying when you're in go mode and you still have a few dungeons. You definitely feel like nerves getting in, coming in a little bit, like messing up something that is normally simple for these runners. Go, go, go. You know your opponent's good. You know you gotta, you know. I feel like a lot of times in these races, you feel like in the back of your mind, my opponent's probably doing the same thing as me, only faster. And you just got to know that you got to try and stay ahead of them.
Yeah, and especially when you're thinking of like all the mistakes that you made, leading up to this point, like, Alaszun's probably dwelling on that, T-Rock route, Scarlet probably dwelling on that moth fight that she kind of got baited into doing. Yeah, it can be rough dealing with nerves this late in the game and at this stage of the tournament.
But yeah, Scarlet still maintaining, bit of a lead here. About to enter the Helma fight at say about 1:16:10 or so, entering the room. So let's see where Alaszun is relative to that. Very nice. That was that same, without doing the spin speed, but still extending the hammer hitbox with a sword there. What are the odds that was the other bow?
No, I'm going to call it 100%. The game loves putting the other bow on Helma.
Yeah, for sure. I bet you that was too. Especially the way the seed was set up. Like we even mentioned at the beginning, when you get that early red cane escape, the game likes to put a bunch of stuff behind it because it's such an early item in the item pool. So if it's going to do that, it might as well make sure that it forces you to get the items that it wants you to find. So 1:17:25, so about a minute 15 behind entering the Helma fight. And hey, look, God Eastern. Very nice. So probably going to skip all these chests. Maybe check the, what is it, the map chest? I think is the one that's on that bridge. Or on that walkway.
I believe this one's the compass chest.
Compass chest, okay. I never know. But still probably looking for a sword. We'll check anything that's free. Well, it was the map chest today, but yeah.
You weren't wrong. I'm going to give you points for that.
That was the compass chest, okay.
Exactly, yeah. In the vanilla game, that has the compass.
But yeah, so, like we were saying, about a little over a minute lead for Scarlet here, getting through this. So, yeah, as she heads into this boss, this will be her 7th crystal, and then she will make her way to Ganon's Tower. And at that point, we have a little game that we like to play, right?
I believe there is a game, yeah. Something about, like, there being 22 chests in Ganon's Tower and chat guessing the numbers between 1 and 22, something like that.
Yeah. Oh
that's
wow. Nice. What a nice scene. So with Scarlet's 7th crystal pickup, we will start the Ganon's Tower Big Key guessing game. Get your votes in chat. Pick a number between 1 and 22 where you think the Ganon's Tower Big Key will be located.
So do you have a number you prefer to enter?
I do. I always pick 1, and I was too slow in that last race where the big key was actually 1, so it was kind of sad. Did not win.
All right. Well, I guess I'm obligated by my contract with my league team to say 22 here, so I'll
All
go
right.
22. We're opposites. We run Huncalled. It's fine.
Yeah, it's the best chemistry.
Exactly.
So, yep, Alaszun about to finish, clean up this last fight before getting his tempered sword, as well as 7th Crystal to head up the mountain. That's actually one of those things when you find it, it's kind of a big sigh of relief, kind of burden off your shoulders. Like, oh, cool, I can just kind of do my thing and finish the run in a more natural way.
Yeah, definitely. That temper just like everything that you kind of practice is kind of like built around that temper, and like having to do Master Sword, you kind of have to like put that extra thought and extra like care into your execution. Like, you know, you have to like hit all those enemies in gauntlet like a, you know, maybe 1 or 2 extra times. So yeah, tempered is a really good sword.
Oh yeah, very much so. And entering GT here, we'll be closing the game. Ooh, I was wrong.
Alright, so we can see that Scarlet isn't a fan of killing Stalfos. So yeah, probably doing the Dark Magician route, going to be mirroring out of the Stalfos room and then going the Hope room and Compass room.
Yeah, seems right.
Yo, DM, let's go.
Okay. What was that, 2?
That was 2.
Okay. Two matches in a row on this channel with 2 as the answer. Or no, wait. It was 1 last time, I think. And then 2. Okay.
Alright, so Alaszun doing the same thing, so we're not losing time to GT routing. So yeah, he's still going to be behind, but yeah, it's going to be a close race. We're going to see how the execution we're going to have to see how the execution holds up.
Yeah, this is definitely now an execution battle on the way up GT. And pulling a cape. Not bad.
You're not going to complain about that, no.
But yeah, definitely one of those situations here. It's close enough that, you know, a death on Ganon or a fall, anything like that can swing the race. So this is still a fairly close race here. But Scarlet taking down Landmo 2, 0 cycle, very nice. And so far, both runners have been pretty much nailing each of these rooms, getting them done quickly. And the 2 most satisfying rooms in the game. Yeah, the red Zazak giving Alaszun just a little bit of trouble in here. Looks like he's have to go take him down. There we go. Gets through the gauntlet here. Last room.
Yeah, the one time every, like, you know, 8 or 10 seeds that Zazak doesn't cooperate. It's just, you feel it.
Oh yeah, definitely. Especially when it's this tight. Again, you know, nerves are a thing. Like each small thing that happens, you know, it just feels bigger and bigger to you. You know, every time it's like, come on, I gotta get done. Where's my opponent? They haven't finished yet. I still have a chance, you know? And you just feel that pressure for sure. But Scarlet taking down Moldorm, and hey, getting validation for 300 rupees. But yeah, heading into the Aghanim 2 fight, all that she has left to do is knock back 3 of the big red balls into Aghanim. I don't know if they're red, whatever. Not the blue ones. And then 3, 6, my god. Everything I'm saying is wrong. And then take down Ganon to complete the game.
You say fire red 6 of the red ball into Aghanim as if that's not the hardest thing to do in the video game, but...
Wow, okay. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, it does a very good job. I think that was 2, 3, 1 there. 3 cycle. Very nice.
Yeah, definitely really solid Aga 2 there.
And Alaszun finishing up his Moldorm, too. So yeah, it looks like he'll be just entering the Aghanim fight as Scarlet's entering the Ganon fight, so... Scarlet with the dash strat double spins here. And gets the 1-1. Very nice. Alaszun taking out Aghanim 2 will be dropping into Ganon in just a moment. So, very close. Both be fighting Ganon at the same time. And getting the free spin on Ganon on the first cycle before nailing the torch glitch. Good job.
Yeah, Alaszun's jumping in again, though, so Scarlet's just going to need to hold her nerve through these final few spins.
Yeah, Fire Rod in hand, half magic, just going for all the triples she can get here. Oop, Ganon getting in the way of that one. Alaszun making use of that cape immediately on the Ganon fight, so. And takes him down. Get your GGs in chat for Scarlet. About to cross the bridge as long as she does not fall. And Scarlet takes the win with an official racetime.gg time of 1 minute 29 seconds. 1 minute. 1 hour, 29 minutes, and 10 seconds.
An astonishingly fast seed. 1 minute. No, yeah, GG's Scarlet. This is a really well-run race from her. And yeah, Alaszun just finishing up this Ganon fight on phase 4 now. Yeah, really, really good race from both runners. Just Scarlet just, yeah, eked it out.
Yeah, Alaszun running low on his magic bar, switching to lamp, but we know that doesn't matter. He has, I think, 2 or 3 blue potions, so not an actual magic issue here. Just doesn't want to waste time refilling it by hitting that potion. And Alaszun finishing up, about to cross the bridge. Get your GGs in chat for him. Finishing in second place with an official racetime.gg time of 1 hour, 30 minutes, and 37 seconds.
GG's.
Yep.
Yeah, and we are here joined in the booth by our runners today. GG's to both of you.
I'm glad I had my audio muted in Turtle Rock, because you would have heard a really loud
Yeah.
F-bomb.
Yeah. So what? So was that? Did you just kind of space on lava chest, or was that intentional? Yeah.
No, I spaced. I full on space cased. Saw at Laserbridge, I'm like, why do I have 2 small keys? Like, what? And then I just like, oh god. Because I was kind of vaguely worrying about my health. I'm like, okay, I'm going to go up and then I'm going to powder the anti-fairies, and just kind of forgot an important step in the middle there.
Oof.
Which was enough to lose me the race.
Yeah, that pretty much flipped it. You entered Turtle Rock, I want to say, about a minute ahead of Scarlet. And otherwise your routes were, besides the pre-Dark World route, you both entered Dark World almost at the exact same time, and then from there on it was just, you actually had slightly different routes through Dark World, and I think the major difference before you both entered Mire, was Scarlet doing full clearing Skull Woods.
Yeah. It's just that when I entered schools and I saw that the key layout was terrible and I had 0 items, I was like, yeah, I kinda need to do the back, I can let it bail 2 items behind after losing, I don't know, 1-2 minutes in schools. So
yeah, that was really the major difference. I think you were just a little bit behind entering Mire, and Alaszun made a quick stop on the way to pick up a bomb refill to make Vitreous just a little bit easier, and then after that, you both went straight to Swamp Palace. Went straight to or skipped left side, skipped the one chest that was left, and then went straight to K45, got your ice rod, and right up the mountain. Like, all the routes were very, very close at that point.
Yeah, I feel like after Mire, that seed kind of routes itself, as long as you do K45. Like, that's the only thing you could really miss. And I almost felt really good about my Vitreous until, like, the last 2 eyeballs that I think took me about 3 times as long as the rest of the fight put together. Ugh.
Yeah, the up hammers were very nice. I think you had spin speed armed at that point.
I had hook speed. Not a lot of times you have actual occasion to use that in a race, but always kind of fun to do.
Yeah, definitely tough fights just in general. Forced fight without a bow, fighter sword hammer. It's never fun, but you both did a very good job taking them down. And I was actually thinking, watching from, I was trying to pay attention to, after K45, I figured, check that real quick, and then thinking Pyramid Fairy might have been the next stop for you, but then you both found an ice rod and said, no, I'm done, I'm going up to TR.
Yeah, I thought about Pyramid Fairy, but sorry, go Scarlet.
If it wasn't Turtle Rock, that we would full clear anyway. So I didn't see a reason to not go to Pyramid Fairy later, Since I still had the Pyramid, I still had Catfish, and I still had Zora there.
Yeah, whereas I had picked that up on my initial opening route, and so it was a little bit less tempting of an area. And I assume Scarlet went to Zora without the money, since the money was really, really tight early on.
Yeah.
Yep, he got it.
when I went up to Zora, I'm like, you know what? Like, if this is something, I feel like I'm going to be in a really good position because I think both Scarlet and I know each other's playstyles really well, which is why you probably saw both of us bend slightly away from the way that we normally play to try to match what the other person is going to do. Like, I really didn't want to leave Swamp Palace. I'm a real full Cleary person at heart, but I'm like, you know what? There's a 0% chance Scarlet's staying in here, so if I were last location it, she's probably last locationing it. I
That's a good
think
point.
she made similar thoughts with 45 for the ice rod. Yeah, but I mean, close race, all you can ask for. It's my own fault for brain farting at the worst possible time. Would have felt like a giant brain play if there was a bow on Laser Bridge, but you know.
Yeah, right. Turtle Rock's one of those funny dungeons where it's just all keys and garbage up front, and then Laser Bridge has has all the goods. But yeah, not today, and weren't able to skip that. And it was really good. Obviously, a good thing he went back, but at that point, you know, the lead flipped for sure.
I mean, if I hadn't realized that I was doing Spike Cave and just heading straight to Pod and Eastern and just hoping the bow was there, so, I mean, who knows? There were enough green 20s that we have no idea where the other bow actually was, but I would be kind of surprised if it wasn't just in GT with the way the seed kind of set up.
Yeah, we were kind of guessing on comms that the green 20 that Helma dropped was probably the other bow, because that's, you know, pretty classic maneuver from the game.
And what a shit cacken. I hated the cack. We had only flippers, I think.
Yeah.
The entire time we're doing that early light world, all I'm thinking about is the seed that I played right before this that I was telling you about in the race room, where we had literally nothing in Sphere 0 and had to just farm 500 rupees. I'm just like watching my money. I'm like, oh no, is this happening again? And I was very, very happy when we got those vanilla gloves because I really, really didn't want to walk in and out of Blind's Hut 5 times.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's pretty much the best money farm if you don't have a glove, huh? And if progression's on Zora, really.
Yup. And the seed I was playing tomorrow before this was literally that, where there was 200 rupees in Sphere 0 that you could get. And so you had to make up the difference otherwise.
Yeah, those are the actual worst. And then nothing drops cash, the stun prize, you don't have a stun item, yeah.
Our stun prize was 5 rupees, which was... I was thinking in farming that, but I didn't have magic enough or bombs enough to do that before Zora. So I kinda had to bail on Zora and hope that it had nothing.
Yeah, another thing we saw early was Alaszun did a, what is it called? Lost Woods to ped check and then save and quit to reverse route from South Shore, or not South Shore, sorry, from the south part of CAC up north, where Scarlet went straight through. So we were wondering if that was part of your decision to skip the back of Skullwood and say, you know what, maybe there's an item, but it's also a pendant I don't need, and I could be wasting time here. Whereas Scarlet did not have that information.
That was definitely some of it, is that I had that information early, and so like when I got the second item, Desert, I'm like, cool, done with Desert for the entire seed, and also knew that, well, Skullwoods might have an item back there, but it's not like anything's on Ped. And so it just, and I mean, my trip to Skullwoods felt really bad because the key layout for that dungeon was just terrible anyway. And it just did not want to break the way that I wanted it to break. Yeah, nice hype cave though.
Yeah, right. Like, oh look, the boots, man. We were joking like, oh, doesn't it suck when you find the boots without a sword? Oh, I a sword.
And the only problem is that it was the only sword until Beatrice, but that's okay.
Yeah. Yeah, always fun. Just fighter sword the entire seed. But at least it was nice enough to let you end on tempered this time.
Yeah, I was a bit tempted to do one or another check more in pod just to see if I could find another sword, but I was like, nah, I know that Alice will not do that, so we'll be both on Master Sword.
Joke's on you, I did Dark
Whatever.
Basement.
I did too. I had to do it because I didn't have the small key.
Okay.
I had to.
I had, I think, exactly one small key when I got the big key, so...
Yeah, I went down and it was a shoot on the highway. So I was like, damn it, I need to go up and take a key at least.
Yeah. I was saying, I actually was going to run to Saha after Eastern if the sword hadn't shown up then. I don't know if you were watching my menu, I had bombs out when Armos was dying because I was going to pick up the bomb to walk over the portal.
Oh, nice.
And then I decided to, leave when the temper sword showed up instead.
Oh yeah, it's true. We didn't do sauce.
Yeah, we were kind of laughing earlier. We were like, yeah, what if the bow was just there the whole time? Like,
It was in my mind. I mean, it's why I was ready to go there as soon as Turtle Rock was empty, but it decided to be there instead.
Yeah, and I did have one more question that I was curious. When after the first run through of Village of Outcasts, Scarlet, you picked up the Smith, and then when you came back to return the Smith, you didn't check any of the boots checks. Was that just, did it just slip your mind at the time, or was that kind of intentional? Like, I'm just gonna go turn this in real quick and see.
I was like, hey, yeah, okay, I got these boots really early, so I think it's not gonna hurt me that much not doing those 3 checks, So I just skipped that, and I didn't do fake powder too, since I was like, it's not in logic. Why am I going to do that now? I still have the purple chest to do anyway.
Yep, that makes sense. Yeah, and it's funny because the powder was in King's Tomb. So.
Yep. I did Magic Bat on my way to Dark World for the first time, just in case it happened to have the mirror, and I could make that sequence a whole lot nicer.
Yeah, that mirror early would be really good.
But yeah, I don't think I have any more questions for you guys. Nice run. GG's. This is the first round of the winners match, right? First game?
Yes, it's the first. The second one will be probably on the weekend, I guess.
Yeah. Playing
Okay,
for
cool.
the ability to not have to play more games until the bracket stage.
Yeah. All right. Well, do you have anything else, RD Walsh?
I don't. I think we've pretty much gone over everything. Yeah. Thank you guys for the race. It was a fun watch.
Thank you both for the commentary, and Raylan, I think it was on the tracker, and Alice for doing this race with me.
Yeah, no, that was a really fun race.
Yeah, we had Artaro.
Happy to at least have a good close one.
Oh, sorry.
I was always happy to have a good close one.
Yeah, definitely. It was a good watch from our side as well. Yeah, just pointing out that it was Artaro tracking today for us. But I just want to give a shout out again to the runners. If you haven't already, go ahead and follow them. Their links are in the chat. And so thanks to Artaro for tracking, and thanks to my co-com, RD Walsh.
Yeah, and thank you for the commentary, Homemade Beer. This is really fun.
Yeah, definitely. So I think we have another race coming up here in about 10 more minutes. Flip Heel versus Spleeby on this channel, and then late tonight, I suppose, at 2:10 Eastern, we have Ravis versus Demo on SpeedGaming 2. So stick around for more Link to the Past main tournament, Randomizer main tournament action.